One of the most important skills that students can learn is how to research efficiently and effectively on a search engine such as Google. I'd like to share a few tips and tricks with you to help you find your results faster. To begin our study on how to conduct a better search, let's take a look at how the Google results are laid out. Google determines the order of results by a large number of algorithms. Your search history, your location, and all of your previous purchases all help determine what comes up first in a search. Because of this, your search results might be totally different than a friend who's living in another city. We're going to cover how to read the Google results page, what search terms to use, the use of Booleans such as quotation marks, the word and the word or. We'll also cover bias and how to find sites with different points of view in order to conduct the best search. Hey, let's dive in, shall we? When we're doing a Google search, the first thing we want to do is learn how to read the page. So let's complete a search. I'm going to search for tires for my car, which is a Subaru WRX. This is what I searched for, and you can see that I've got suggested tire sizes that depends on the car. It also has the very first link right here. However, what do we notice? Right here, you'll notice the URL is Goodyear.com. That means that that company has probably paid Google to put their tires first. So if I were to click the Subaru WRX tires at Goodyear, I'll notice that I will only get Goodyear tires. I won't be able to compare them to, say, Firestone or Bridgestone or anybody else, which means that they might not have the best tires for my car. They just paid the most to put their link up front. So I'm going to skip that one. The next link is Pirelli. Again, that's another tire company, a competitor, so they're probably a sponsor to Google. And again, I'm only going to see Pirelli tires there, not necessarily the best tires. CarID.com, I'm not familiar with them. I don't know that company, so I'm going to skip it. Tire Reviews and More sounds like it might be a good place. Discount Tire I have heard of, and Tire Rack I know. But if I didn't, how would I check to see if Tire Rack is reputable? The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to Google TireRack.com and then ratings to find out about TireRack.com. Well, if I go here, they have a 4.84 stars on 321,000 reviews. That's a good start. Okay, here I've got 3 stars. That's not so great. But here I've got a 5-star review. Here I've got 3.9 and here 4.7. So seemingly I'm getting pretty good feedback on Tire Rack. So now in my tire search, I might want to go to Tire Rack and see what they have to say about the Subaru WRX tires. So that's how you conduct a search. Don't go to the first one because quite often they're sponsored. Go to companies that you recognize. If you find companies that you don't recognize or websites that you don't recognize, then Google those companies to find out what people are saying about them. So if you're Googling, one of the things that you can do is never ask it questions. The extra words confuse the search and they waste time. Instead, cut your search down to the most important search terms. For example, if you are searching for Bills Super Bowl seasons, those would be your search terms. You don't have to ask it, when were the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl? A second way that we could search more effectively or more efficiently is to use Booleans, or what Google calls search operators. If we type in, he's described the radiator, what I'll get is a bunch of radiator pieces. So radiator engine cooling, potato method of a car radiator described, but that's not really what I was looking for. My favorite poem includes the words, he's described the radiator in that order. If I just remembered that he's described the radiators from the text, what I can do is I can put quotation marks both before and after that phrase, and it'll search or scour the internet for those words in that order. So if I put the quotation marks, he's described the radiator, end quotation marks, it will search, Google will search the website for those words in that order. And you'll notice what happens when I hit return here. I've got Jay Leeming's Man Writes poem. He's described the radiator word for word in that poem. That's the poem that I was looking for. So if I just remember 3 or 4 words in order and I put it in quotation marks, I can find that out on the web. A second search Boolean that you can use is the word and. So for example, if I wanted to type in Brett Hull and in the crease, if I click go, it will find me words that have Brett Hull and in the crease in it. So for example, immediately I pulled up one final thought on the 1999 Stanley Cup, no goal. If you would like to expand your search and you have two terms that are the same, you can use the word or in the middle and it'll search for both. So for example, if I have the words climate change and global warming, if I put the words or in the middle, and it has to be capital O-R, it will search for both climate change and global warming. So notice that I've got 680 million results if I do or. If I go to climate change, global warming, please notice that I'm down to 345 million. So I doubled my results by searching for both climate change and global warming with the capital O-R in between. As you're researching and you're looking at your various results, especially if you have a controversial topic, you want to be aware of bias. So one way we could do that is we can go to the bias chart. So the media bias chart is put out by a group called Adfonts Media. On the left-hand side of the screen is the static media bias chart. It'll just show you all the different media outlets. So as we look at this bias chart, along the left-hand side is the left-hand or Democratic side, or the liberal side, and on the right-hand side of the chart is the conservative Republican side. So if you look at a media outlet on the left-hand side, so say for example Washington Monthly, you'll get a point of view from the left-hand side of the issue. So if we go to the right-hand side and we look at, say, Fox News on the same topic, we'll get the right-hand or the Republican point of view. So it's always good to get multiple sources and to make sure that you're balancing your left-hand side with your right-hand side and your right-hand side with your left-hand side. Make sure that you're trying to pull something from the middle as well. When you're researching anything, make sure that you're considering the bias of the website that you're at. You want to cover both points of view of any controversial topic. If you type in the word cite and then a colon, if I type in msnbc.com, that will give me some site from the left. And then if I want to type in my controversial issue, climate change, I can see what my results are. So you'll notice that I've got 39,000 results on MSNBC. If you look at the URLs, they are all MSNBC. Then if I go back to my search and try cite again, and then if I go to Fox News this time and type in climate change, I will get another series of articles on climate change, and this will be from the right side of the political perspective. It'll probably counter the MSNBC, so you'll have both perspectives in your research. Another thing that you can do with cite.colon to get different perspectives is to put in the country code. So if you do cite.colon.ru, for example, RU is going to bring up Russian websites and will give you the Russian perspective on any particular topic. So again, if you're searching climate change, Russia's point of view might be certainly very different than Iran's point of view, which is .ir. So if you wanted to search by country, you could do cite.colon.ir and it would give you Iranian perspectives on any topic.